What do you regret finding out? My dad mentioning how tight my mom is. Thanks dad. What did people born 2000 plus miss out on? The ability to mess up and have it wash away in time. Your life is being narrated and every day is an episode. What's your narrator saying about what you're doing at this very minute? In David Attenborough's voice, despite waking over 30 minutes ago, the middle-aged man remains lying and largely motionless with the exception of his fingers, which he uses to communicate to strangers across the world. This morning ritual is essential for the species to deal with the bullshit he will face once his wife and kids realize he is awake. What's the dumbest shit you think humans have done as a species? Get drunk then climb roofs then fall off roofs. If the best things in life are free, what exactly are those things? Yeah, man I love that shit. What are some dumb purchases you made? I traded a rather rare volume into a local used bookstore because I had 2 of them. Then went back to the bookstore a month later and excitedly bought my own book back because it was rare and I didn't think I owned it. I was wrong. What's the biggest WTF gift you've ever received? My uncle is notoriously cheap. One year he gave me a magazine that had Ichiro Suzuki on the cover. It was a free magazine, as it stated on the bottom of the cover. Another year he also gave me a free t-shirt he had gotten for running a race. Possibly the best was the birthday gift he gave my dad one year, a McDonald's Happy Meal toy. What is the most useless thing you own? A comb. I'm hairless. If you could choose, what would be your last words? If I was a Buddhist, I'd say oh shit, here we go again. You're laying in bed home alone at 3 AM. What sound would be the scariest thing to hear at that time? Just a person quietly saying hello. Employees of escape rooms, what is the most incorrect thing someone has attempted to do to escape? In one that I did, my group got paired up with some random people. One of those people was an off-duty cop. One of the puzzles involved a pair of handcuffs, and you had to find the key. Unknown to the rest of the group, he just pulled out his handcuff keys and opened them up, skipping like half of the room. What only exists because people are stupid? Warnings on microwaves and ovens that the food might be hot afterwards. That is pretty much the purpose of those, to heat the food. What's bullshit but people still haven't caught on yet? Starbucks secret menu. If you roll up and ask for a Barbie frap or a cotton candy hot chocolate, baristas won't have a clue what you're talking about. It's just a bunch of drink modifications that someone slapped a name on for the internet. If you want a special drink, bring the recipe for it. Would you take $20 million, but for the rest of your life you have to end every conversation with "see you later alligator"? Why not? Absolutely, that's a small price to pay. It's not like I'd have to worry about saying it in job interview or something. Edit, I probably wouldn't be going to many job interviews if I had 20 mil. What game has the most toxic fan base? GTA Online. I dare you to just mind your own business and walk through the streets. What's one humble brag you always like to slide into conversation? I pissed in a urinal next to Shaq. What is the most savage thing a teacher has ever said to you? After getting hit in the eye with a softball during PE and almost being knocked the fuck out, he said to me, "Son, it could have been worse, could have been my eye." What is the most stupid way you ever got injured? Twisted my ankle jumping off a trampoline in a gym once as a kid. That wasn't the stupid injury though. The stupid part was that I jumped again, which resulted in 2 fractures. If a movie was made about your life, what would the title be? A series of unfortunate events. For people who lived before the internet, what were some crazy rumors you heard that would have been solved if the internet was readily available? Do you know how often celebrities died back then? Madonna died every other goddamn week. Doctors of Reddit, what was your how the fuck did you survive that moment? I was working in the emergency department when a toddler came in after falling out of a 3-story window completely unharmed. The sad thing was they were from a rough neighborhood and the mum hadn't noticed for about half an hour. Apparently the friendly apartment pot smokers found him, checked him over, and sat with him for half an hour, and when mum didn't show up went to find her. The child was admitted overnight mostly for social reasons, but it's just amazing how well kids bounce. Every character played by the same actor is now a part of one continuous story. Which actor has the best story arc? It's gotta be Harrison Ford. He starts as Han from Star Wars. He tries to settle down with Leia after Return of the Jedi, feels trapped in married life because he's actually a scoundrel. Han shot first never forget, decides to ghost everyone, and lay low on some backworld primitive planet, Earth, assumes the identity of Indiana Jones, goes on all sorts of adventures while pretending to be some senile old guy's son, sorry Henry Jones Sr. Father dies. Han starts to settle down from all the adventuring. He's built a pretty sweet life, starts to get comfortable, but still has all of his charm. Moves on from being an adored archaeology professor, and eventually gets discovered by a political machine that thinks he's incredibly electable. Eventually Han uses his charm to become president of the United States, before kicking those terrorists off his plane. Teachers of Reddit, what is the worst parent conference you've ever had? Not quite a parent-teacher conference, but it was after I got my first cell flip phone long ago when they were just coming out. An 8th grader stole it. My wife called the phone and the guy who answered was dumb enough to give her his name. It was a parent who was using it. The kid confesses to taking it, and the parents came in. Admin confronted the parents about it, explaining that we just wanted the phone back. The parents tore into the kid for confessing he took the phone, and told him his birthday was cancelled for ratting on them. What's something you refuse to try even once in your life? Your anti-bucket list. That stupid amusement park ride where you look like you're bungee jumping to your death. No thank you. To every Redditor who feels lonely, hi, how was your day? Lonely. Also, I had a lot of stuff to do. Didn't do any of them. What is something you only know if you grew up poor? You don't know how poor you are until you've been to your rich friend's house. You wake up as a dog. Now what? My life immediately gets wonderful. Someone brings me food, opens the door to let me out, drives me places, moves over when I get on the couch. A dog's life. What is the most stupid thing you believed as a child? I believed I could talk to planets. I wrote a letter to the planet Saturn, saying it has nice rings and it's my favorite planet. Stamped the envelope and mailed it to. Pretty sure the moon got one too. What are you good at? Procrastinating and then feeling guilty. Mall Santas of Reddit, what is the weirdest thing a kid asked for Christmas? I was a Santa in 1997 for a small authentic Old West village. I was 17 at the time and doing some local theater, and the costume lady was asked to find someone to be Santa for the weekend. She told me she thought of me because, well, you're not fat, but you're big. I'm 6 feet 6/1.98. So I put on a cheap costume that didn't fit well, and the beer smelled like the last Santa threw up in it, and I waited in a prop shed in the plaza that was normally a sheriff office or something. Tall, skinny, smelly Santa in a shed sitting on a plastic lawn chair. It was no wonder all the children screamed when they were put on my lap. None of them asked for anything, in fact, as they were too busy being scared of me. I had a pair of girls and later a pair of guys from the local Christian high school dressed as elves on the first day to take Polaroids and collect money. On the second day they flaked, and I was by myself all day. I charged people money to enter my creepy shed and take pictures of their own kids. Except for one young lady who was probably older than me and severely mentally disabled. Her parents were so apologetic because she was too old, but she sat on my lap and smiled at me with total naked joy. I can still see her face 20 years later.